So you, much like me, really see things kind of going in a bad direction under Trump. It's going to be a lot harder to fight for police accountability. It's going to be a lot harder to fight for freedom from surveillance by the NSA and this kind of thing. I really think conservatives are getting conned. All these conservatives who voted for Trump, I think they're going to find themselves under extra surveillance and such first.
Well, I think it's, sad that people don't get that. Not that I was in favor of the other candidate either. I told you I really don't do electoral politics. That's not how I do my work. But I do think that basically Clinton was Trump light, or whatever. She's still very married to the system and things like that. So it's not like I was, advocating and saying, oh, if we just had that other candidate get enough votes or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe that would have done much of anything. I see them very much as two sides of the same coin. But the bottom line is that, and here's another reality. Trump has got plans to do some bad things, and he's showing us that he intends to go through with them by virtue of his cabinet appointments. But the things he's talking about doing are extensions of the things that Obama did. Okay, so people get deluded. They think there's like a dime's worth of difference between these people, and there's not. And, they think that there's something different. But Obama, at the same time, he was sensitive to a certain degree to people's perceptions of what was going on in the country. So he, for example, after Ferguson, put together this thing, task force on 21st century policing. But the reality was that task force was never, ever going to come up with anything valuable about taking on the police. They were going to do things like, we need lots of body cameras. So the biggest thing they've done is they funded body cameras, which never were intended to do anything to increase police accountability. And I'm proud to say that CUAPB said that from day one. Okay, we've never been deluded about what body cameras are about. They're about added spying on us. And because, you got to think about it. Body cameras capture, they sit in the middle of the chest of the officer or up on their shoulder or on their glasses, and they basically record what that officer sees, not what that officer is doing, but our reaction to what that officer is doing, okay? So There's no way to do a body camera or any kind of camera that would capture the cops' actions, because you'd have to put it on some heavy boom on their shoulder and bring it around to the front. There's no way to do that, okay? There's no practical way. The only thing they can do is capture our reactions to it. And now they get to do that in our homes and in all kinds of interactions with us. And in Minnesota, they just did the same thing last year at the legislature that every other state's doing. And they make the footage secret. You have no access to it. It is not going to do a damn thing for police accountability. And that's the absolute truth. And we've been saying that from day one. But that's what that task force came up with after Ferguson to increase accountability, blah, 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 so-called. And so this is what these programs are about. So I don't want to say, terrible about Trump. I think he is going to be terrible. But I think people are very deluded if they think there's a whole lot of difference between that and like the CVE program, which was an Obama invention. These other programs that target certain segments of our community, things like that. People have to get a grip and, there's going to be some bad things. Like Trump is going to be less apologetic about it. But the reality is that this stuff was going on. And that it was happening under Obama. It happened under Clinton. It happened under Bush 1 and Bush 2. It happened because these people are part of the government. And they're not they're not interested. The police play a very particular role in our society. And part of their role is to prop up these people and to be essentially the army for these people, to keep them in power and to maintain their positions of authority. They're not going to do a whole lot to rein them in. They're going to say, geez, you took it too far and you embarrassed us. So they'll throw a couple of these cops, under the bus, put them in jail or do things to them. They'll let things happen to them because they went too far. Like this cop Yanez that murdered Philando Castile. We might get some kind of conviction on him. It won't be for murder. It'll be probably for felony assault. But they'll do something to him because what he did was too embarrassing to them. But it wasn't. They're not going to do anything to him because he, oh gosh, this terrible thing you did. He did it in a way that was too embarrassing. So, but this has always been the case.
Right.
Trump will likely just be like, we're not embarrassable, so screw you now. We're not going to do anything with any of these cops. That's
right.
probably
Right.
the differences, if any.